What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show. Here after a Blazers blowout W. It's been rare that we've been able to say that this year, but today, Eric, the Blazers, coming out of Christmas break. By the way, I hope everybody had a great Christmas. The Blazers apparently had a great Christmas because they came out today on fire. 130 points on the board, and the Blazers bench dominates the Kings. You had Duop Reath with a career high. Jabari Walker with a really good game. Scoot Henderson career high in assists. Those three dominated this game. The Blazers bench thoroughly outplayed the Sacramento Kings bench, and the Blazers take down a good Kings team that was 17-10 going into today, or 17-11, something like that. They take them down. They look good doing it. Shoot 40% from 3, 50% from 2, 80% from the free throw line. We love round numbers. And Eric, we love wins. We love wins, right? So, looking forward to discussing this game. Eric, how was your Christmas, and how are you doing, bro?
Oh, my Christmas was great, other than my wife and I still being under the weather. But we powered through that and had a great Christmas. And then, hope you had a great Christmas as well. How was yours, Tori?
Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. So we celebrated on the 23rd. You and Rich had that post-game show, which was very entertaining. I've been able to...
Taylor just argued the whole time.
Oh, yeah, because Taylor loves himself some Aiton, man. So that was kind of fun to be a chat participant. And it's always fun to troll in chat and... be one of them, not one of us, you know what I mean? So that was thoroughly enjoyable. But this is the first time we've done a post-game show together. Actually, this is the first time we've streamed together in a week, because you weren't there for Blazers Uprise Live because you were working, and then you weren't there for the Washington post-game show because you were feeling under the weather, and then I wasn't there on the 23rd. So this is the first time we have streamed together in an entire week, which is rare at this point in the season. So good to be back to our normal, regularly scheduled program. Chat, hopefully you guys had a good Christmas as well. Let me know. Yeah, man, I'm ready to talk about this dub. It's gonna be a fun one tonight because you had some bench guys, some unheralded players make a statement tonight. You have Duop Reath with 25 points, 9 boards, 9 for 15. You got Scoot Henderson, 6 for 15. Not the most efficient night, but Eric, 11 assists and only 1 turnover. 11 assists, 1 turnover. That's the type of playmaking we expected to see out of Scoot when he got into the league, so it's nice to see it at that level today when he actually takes care of the ball as well. And then Jabari Walker, in 22 minutes, 17.6 boards. You look at Scoot, plus 21 in 28 minutes. Reath, in 32 minutes, plus 24. Jabari's a plus 13. Matisse Thybulle off the bench. He has only 6 points, but has 4 assists, 4 boards, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He fills up the stat sheet. He's a plus 26. Our bench destroyed theirs. They didn't really have anybody coming off their bench to write home about other than Malik Monk. He played 19 minutes. Trey Lyles played 14 minutes. Next guy, in terms of minutes, Keon Ellis, Sasha Vezenkov, those guys played 9 minutes. I mean, those guys, I guess, can do some things, can shoot some threes, that sort of thing. But our unheralded bench players outplayed their unheralded bench players and kind of made a statement tonight, especially Reath and Walker. Love the way those guys played.
Yeah, Reath and Walker, especially Walker in the first half. I think he had 12 and 6 at halftime or something like that. And then I thought Thybulle was really good defensively in this one. Hit a couple good 3-point shots as well. And then, Scoot, he had some finishes that you were like, okay, that's what I want to see, Scoot. He still struggled shooting the ball most of the game, but, man, really nice to see him. That one where he finally goes left. The left has been, teams have been giving him his left a lot this season, and he just refuses to take it for some reason. And, He finally goes left and just has a wide open lane and goes up and throws it down with 2 hands. Love to see that. And in the second half, he had a finish where he went baseline off of Hezzy and finished in traffic around the rim on the reverse side. Just really nice finishing there if he can be a little bit more consistent with that, to go along with his pinpoint passing, because he was throwing some passes from one end of the court, one side of the court, all the way to a shooter's pocket, right on the money, to have an easy catch and shoot three on the opposite side. And those are the kind of passes that spur an offense and can really get your teammates going with easy looks. And tonight he got multiple players going, and it's no coincidence, I don't think, that several players off the bench that played with him had some of their best nights of the season because of the way Scoot was setting them up.
Yeah, you're just seeing it in bits and pieces right now. He scored the ball, 17 points today, gets to the line twice, makes all 4 of his free throws, 6 for 15. You would like to get that efficiency up a little bit higher, especially from 2. There was a couple layups he missed there in the second half. But the playmaking, this was by far his best playmaking game. It was by far his best game in terms of creating for others and taking care of the ball. So, love that. I want to see that paired with him scoring the ball a little bit more efficiently. I want to see... He's going to have one of these nights this year where he has an efficient night scoring the ball and passes the ball like this. And that's truly the prospect that Scoot Henderson was drafted to be. Somebody that could score, that could put pressure on the rim, get downhill, get to the free throw line, and pass the ball like this. There hasn't been a single game where he's put both of those pieces together. And honestly, this is kind of the first game where he's put the playmaking, put the shot creation together at this level, right? Because he's had games where he's had 10 assists, but he'll have, 4 or 5 turnovers with it, right? He won't take care of the ball. 11 assists, 1 turnover is phenomenal. I just can't wait for it to come with a even more efficient scoring night, because that's exactly who we've been waiting for 29 games now. But when you look at Scoot, man, this is why people need to be patient. I was never worried about his ball handling. I was never worried about his turnovers being a long-term issue. He's going to have more nights where he has 4 or 5, maybe 6 turnovers, right? As a rookie, as a 19-year-old. But the potential is always there. He needed to learn how to slow down and read the game better. He needed the game to slow down for him. You're finally starting to see that. Before, you were seeing it in some of his drives and some of his scoring. Today, you saw it with his playmaking. So he's just making progress in multiple areas, which is all that you can ask for, right? He didn't come in and light the world on fire like everybody expected, everybody wanted. It would have been awesome for him to come into the league like Damian Lillard came into the league when Dame had 23 and 11 in his first NBA game. But Dame was also 3 years older. So you got Scoot coming in. I've been trying to preach patience all year. I was preaching patience before the season, and now he's showing why people need to be patient. People needed to not prematurely throw the bust label on him, because he's really, you're seeing the development game by game almost, and it's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I still think he's kind of struggling handling the ball. It just doesn't seem natural to him for some reason. He's still getting by people because he's super athletic and talented that way. But I still feel like his first basket tonight, he scores an and one, but he loses the ball, and it just happens to he guides it towards the hoop, which is nice. But he does seem to still lose the ball a lot, or it's not resulting in turnovers necessarily, but he's losing his dribble or just kind of slightly off when he drives sometimes. And so when he starts to not do that too, then you're really going to see something, I think. Yeah,
his ball handling will continue to improve. I don't think it's in a terrible spot at all, but when you're talking about a guy that can maybe one day average 9 assists a game, and control the game, having that ball on a string. You look at the best passing point guards, and they also handle the ball extremely, extremely well. So I think he does have a little bit more work left to do, but at 19, ball handling is one of the most easily improvable things. It's one of the easiest things to drill. So that's why I was never worried about it. I just wanted to see him create like he did today. I wanted to see him pass like he did today, because we saw it. A couple of impressive passes in his one Summer League performance. And going back to the G League, you saw some really impressive reads and passes that he made. And a lot of the passes were, left hand with one hand or right hand with one hand, getting the ball out quick and hitting guys in their shooting pocket, right? There's the type of guys that need to pick the ball up with two hands and throw a chest pass. That takes more time than just catching it off the dribble with one hand and flicking it to someone, right? So you want to give your shooters as much time as possible, right? So the two things you can do for your shooters is get the ball to them as fast as you can and hit them in their shooting pocket. And some guys like the ball a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, a little bit down. That's where knowing your teammates can make you even better, because the best passers in the league will feed guys with where they like the ball. They'll learn. That's some of that chemistry stuff. But I mean, tonight, that's what he did, and you love to see it. So hopefully he can continue to build on this. I don't really, like, for me, even if his handle looks rough, as long as he doesn't turn it over and is still making stuff happen, like, I don't care. If his handle's going to be rough and he's going to have 11 assists, 1 turnover, that's fine. Like, not worried about that.
Absolutely.
Eric Olson, great comment, says, I saw Scoot use a hang dribble, a change of pace move. Yeah, he needs to use more hang dribbles. Yeah. You look at, like, Tyrese Halliburton he lives off of hang dribbles. And he's not, like, the most athletic guy, but he can get wherever he wants because of the way he's able to hang and change pace. So we talked about with Scoot, and he's doing it more and more, and that's why he's able to be more effective.
I do think there's a difference between a hang dribble and your dribble getting hung up and like
hang dribble for anyone that's confused is just when you kind of like float and lift up with the ball, right, and kind of let it hang in your hand. You don't want to carry it, okay, but if you dribble it and let it hang in your hand and kind of float with it, that's an easy way to like set up your footwork to like cross somebody up or attack, or lifting up also like can get defenders to lift up a little bit as well, which makes them a little easier to beat. Like, hang dribbles are one of the most underrated parts of ball handling because it sets up a bunch of moves and it's a good change of pace. So hang dribbles are, KD uses a lot of them and he's able to get where he wants. Anfernee Simons uses a lot of them. His are like a little bit more aggressive in terms of like stepping towards the defender. So there's, different nuances that you can throw into it. But with Scoot, I just felt like everything was like very hard crossovers. I talked about this. Very hard crossovers and then attack right. And the defender knew it was coming. Now he's starting to get a little bit more creative and play with like the rhythm a little bit and change pace in that range. And it's why he's able to get going downhill a little bit more often. Now you're seeing him go left in a game like this. That's the next step, him being more comfortable going left. So there's just a lot of pieces that he has to add. And that's what's fun, even in a season like this where the Blazers have a bad record, is seeing him add those respective pieces and start to figure out some of those nuances of the game.
Yep. It's especially when you are as strong as Scoot is and have that long wingspan, because he should be able to at some point turn his back a little bit and back players down. Not necessarily, he doesn't have the size like Magic did or anything, or LeBron or whatever, but like he can use that frame to do that, and then to use that hang dribble and then spin either left or right depending on which way the guy's defending you. I do think that could be quite a deadly weapon in his arsenal if he can learn how to do that, like you said, Tyrese and some of the best players in the NBA do.
Yeah, absolutely. So love seeing Scoot play well. We got to talk about Duop Reath. Like, I threw him in the thumbnail. I mean, this is just a question for chat. This is not a statement by me
here we go.
At all. Okay? This is not a statement. This is a question. I'm just asking questions like Stephen Vaughn does. Okay? Are the Blazers better with Duop Reath instead of DeAndre Ayton? That's just a question for chat. I'm not going to answer that question whatsoever. I'm just asking questions. I just want to see what chat says.
You can do a chat poll.
Okay, let's see. Are the Blazers better with Reath instead of Ayton?
Taylor Packer
yes,
is not happy with
no, and then the third option is going to be I'm Taylor Packer, so hell no. There you go.
There's going to be multiple people clicking on I'm Taylor Packer.
I know. That's what's funny about it. Yeah. See, like I'm not making any statements. This is one game, right? And it's not. I'm the one who says correlation doesn't equal causation. Like the Blazers didn't win this game because Ayton was out. You know, that'd be a silly thing to say. Reath also had the best game of his career, right? So, he got an opportunity. He got an opportunity because Ayton was out, but can't. You know, I'm not gonna make a correlation to the team being better with Ayton. But it's like you see what Reath does, and he's on a 2-way contract, man. It makes me even more annoyed that Ayton's making a backs. I'm not gonna go in on that, but it's like, dang, you find this guy. It's a great pickup. It's a good job by Joe Cronin. You get a guy on a 2-way contract that can come in and be a backup center because he's really, really solid offensively. Like, that dude offensively today was solid. I also was impressed with some of his defensive play tonight, and I've never been impressed by Reath's defense ever. No. He rebounded the ball okay. Like, I don't know how many offensive rebounds he gave up, but he's more undersized than Ayton. Like, that's not really something that I expect to be Reath's strong suit. Like, they had 11 offensive rebounds. But he can score the ball, and he can shoot the threes. He can space the floor. Had a couple impressive defensive possessions today. I don't think he's ever going to be like a great defender. I think at best, he's going to be a mixed bag. But, yeah, what'd you think of his play tonight?
I thought Reath was fantastic. We know he likes to throw up the 3-point shots. But I was most impressed tonight with some of his movement off ball and a couple times where he put the ball on the floor and took it to the rim, avoided a defender from picking up an offensive foul, and finished around the hoop a couple times with his left hand in traffic. That was the most impressive part to me. And then he also caught a couple of passes. I think one was from Jeremy and a couple were from Scoot, where he caught him in traffic, just kind of hovering around the basket and made a nice finish over the top of the defense. And so, yeah, I was more impressed with just his ability to not only catch the ball without fumbling it a lot, because we've obviously seen that with our starting center this year, but to finish in traffic as well, because he doesn't get much lift off the ground. So it's always kind of I'm always kind of surprised when he does get a shot off over the top of someone.
Yeah, it's been fun to see this guy come out of nowhere. Like, playing in Summer League, he didn't look this good in Summer League against lesser players. So,
I want to say something about the chat poll, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I've had a chance to talk to you about the Washington game.
Yeah.
But, like, I watched it after listening to your critiques of Ayton on the post-game show. Yeah. So I was like purposely like watching him most of the game, specifically in that fourth quarter stretch. And there were multiple possessions where he was right under the basket on defense for a rebound and just stood there and watched another Wizard player grab the ball. Didn't try to go up for the ball or pinpoint it or nothing, just stood there and watched. And I'm not saying anything like Ayton's worse than Duop Reath, because like I don't think that's true or anything, but to watch that guy just stand there while the other team just kind of willed themselves to some of those possessions, it did kind of bug me, knowing how easily he could have just gone up and grabbed some of those rebounds. Yeah. And so
and see, here's the thing, like right before that stream, or I think it might have been like during that stream, while I was talking, I was going through NBA.com and looking at their offensive rebounds, and I was noticing a lot of offensive boards like that, and it was just like really starting to bug me while it was either right before the stream or while I was live. So, you know, some of the frustration came out, but in the end of the day, like I just want guys to compete. Right? If you give up offensive rebounds, but like you're competing for boards and you're trying to box out, like I can live with that. Yeah. Like you're not going to keep a team fully off the defensive glass. Mm-hmm. And when you look at a guy like Reath, he's smaller, he's 6'9", like he's going to there's going to be times when he can do everything he can to get a board and doesn't get the board, right? So it's not even necessarily about giving up offensive rebounds. It's just, at the end of the day, I just want dudes on this team that play hard and try and do the little things and compete. Like, that is the bare minimum. And people are like, oh, this season, wasn't about winning, it's about player development. It's like, yes, but I also want dudes that would just go out there, play hard, and compete, right? Like, I didn't have many complaints regarding this team the first, 10 games, first 12 games of the season. Like, we lost a lot of games, but for the most part, they competed, right? I was annoyed with some of the late game execution stuff from Chauncey, but they competed. And you look at this team tonight, this team competed tonight. This is a good Sacramento Kings offense. We only give up 113 points when we had more of an excuse to have a bad defensive night because, Ayton was out. But we competed tonight. We played hard. I was really happy. I was really happy with it. Now, it's easier when you're making shots.
Yeah.
But they had good energy about them tonight. And at the end of the day, that's the bare minimum for me is just go out there, play hard, compete. You're being paid lots of money to go out there and play a game that people would love to play at the NBA level for free. So just go out there and play hard.
Also, I was asked a question before the stream, how good would Reath be if he had DeAndre Ayton's body, or
can we combine them, bro?
Or Jabari Walker if he had, if he was 7 foot tall or whatever. And that's the thing. Jabari and Reath are doing this. They're 6'7" and 6'9" respectively. They're not necessarily the biggest guys. They're not the most athletic guys, but they do it on effort. And then you watch this guy who's got all the physical tools to be a dominating player. So that's just where my frustration comes from. It's not necessarily that Ayton's bad or anything. I feel like he could be so much better than he is, and that's frustrating to me. So it's not necessarily that I think we're better off without Ayton or whatever. It's just, it's frustrating when you see how good this team can be and how fun it is when you watch players who just give their all out on the court, and then the difference when you do have players that just kind of roam around out there and don't really involve themselves a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. Reath, I don't know. I like Reath's offensive game. Defensively, not much to write home about, but as long as he competes, that's fine. As long as he tries, which is just still sounds silly to me to say because that should just be a given. You shouldn't even have to talk about that, but I don't know if Ayton's still being bothered. Was it the same injury? I didn't see why he was out tonight.
I think it was knee soreness, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's still being bothered by that injury, and maybe some of the... I don't know, man. He didn't look to be bothered on a lot of plays, so I don't know. But Reath, great game today. Helped play next to Scoot, the way Scoot was distributing him the ball. Those guys have a good connection going. Scoot's one turnover was on a play he thought Reath would roll, but it's you should know that Duop Reath is going to pick and pop.
Well, I mean, Scoot threw it right into the defender's face.
yeah. But he was trying to throw. Right, he was trying to throw a pocket.
Stroh jinxed him too. Jeez.
Yeah. Good old Haber jinx. But he was trying to throw a pocket pass. Reath wasn't even there. Reath was popping. So I mean, you always should expect that dude to pop. I would always, as a point guard, always look for the pop, and if he's not there, then surprise, he rolled. Because most of the time he pops. I mean, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
He didn't really pop too much this game. It was nice.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, this season, he's been more of a pick and pop guy.
For sure.
I would love to see the splits on that. But when he goes 3 for 6, I'm cool with him popping every time. I am cool with him popping every time. Because that's the thing, is when you got a center that can stand out there and shoot threes, if you double the screen and he pops... Oftentimes, that'll force a third guy to rotate to him, and then he can swing the ball. And having that center that can shoot threes sparks some good ball movement. I like the way Reath attacks closeouts. When he gets ran off the line, he can actually put it on the ground and drive a little bit, and then draw a second defender, and then make a basic pass. Like, he's a good guy for ball movement. He's a good guy for an offense that has flow to it, right? Because he can space the floor, so he helps out in that regard. He can knock down those threes. He can force guys to rotate to him on the three-point line and then swing the ball. And he can put it on the floor and attack when guys close out on him too hard and draw on the defense a little bit, actually. So I think that's part of the reason why that bench offense looked so good tonight, is because Reath was really, really good tonight, and he was a key cog in that.
Yeah, and I do want to say, I think, and we haven't mentioned Anfernee Simons yet, but they double-teamed him a lot, including sometimes right across half court, kind of getting that Dame treatment. Mm-hmm. And when you have a big like Reath who could make a team pay for doing that, and several other players like Scoot and Jabari and stuff, I felt like those guys were doing a really good job of moving fast and decisive movements once Ant passed out of that double team. And credit to Ant for not really getting too caught up in any of the picks. Like, he recognized them pretty quickly. And then credit to the other four guys for attacking quickly off of that. And I think that was a key in this game, was Reath and Jabari Walker and Scoot in particular really made the Kings pay in that second quarter. When they started doubling Ant with our bench unit and Anfernee in there. And that's when we broke the game open, was those guys just took that upon themselves to score in that situation. And I thought that was the thing that won us this game, was that run in the second quarter where all those guys played really well off the mismatches.
Yep. Taylor Packer says 11% of chat is Taylor Packer. That's wild. Yeah, you got a bunch of mini-me's there, Taylor. Congrats. Let me think some donos, and then we'll talk about Jabari. Shout Truly Spencer PDX $2 donation says Anfernee Simons is really good at basketball. I see Spencer more on Twitter than I do in chat, so it's really good to see him in chat. Thank you, Spencer, for the donation. And yeah, Anfernee Simons, will talk about him as well, because he continues to be great. Unfortunately, the refs don't realize how good he is because they give him the opposite of star treatment. If he was a big name, a consensus top 10 player, he would have had like 6 to 8 free throws today and had like 35 points and been, what was he? 12 for 25. He would have been like 12 for 20 with like 4 or 5 trips to the line. And it would have looked like an amazing night. So hopefully he starts to get that respect, because there's that stretch there where he missed 2 layups, and I thought he got fouled on both of them. And it's just like, you give star players these calls every freaking time. He can't buy a whistle. How does he not shoot a free throw? I don't think that's due to Ant, because Ant goes at guys. Like, it's not like... In the past, he would have no free throw games, and it was because he was like fading away on finishes and only shooting jumpers. Yeah. He doesn't play like that anymore. No. So when he has 25 shot attempts and doesn't shoot a single free throw, I think it's kind of blasphemous.
Yeah. I agree. He should have gotten the line a few times today. There was a couple times in the first half, too, where Fox was just freaking riding him all the way down the court and then like pushing him on the sidelines, and Ant still can't get a call. It was driving me crazy.
Yeah, chat's tripping tonight. We've had a few people tripping in chat. We got one dude that says Ant isn't better than Gerald Wallace, which are two completely different types of players, and saying Ant's soft. Man, okay, there's our resident Ant hater. There's always one or two out there ready to hate on Ant.
Okay, thanks. For some reason, we're going to trade for Sabonis, too. I don't know, man.
What? That makes absolutely zero sense.
The Kings aren't trading Sabonis, man.
Anyway, he spiked his eggnog. I mean, I rock with that. That's cool. Shout out to Smog, member for 35 months. 1 month away from that 3-year member badge for Smog. Shout out to him. He says Scoot featuring Great Barrier Reath, which is a sick nickname, by the way. Yeah, watching those two guys play together off the bench is a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. It's like, you remember it's so much better than this. You remember the Steve Blake, Chris Kaman connection?
Yeah.
This is like just a better version of that, in my opinion. Cause
I mean, Kamen didn't really do much for us. So.
Neither of those guys did much when Blake was here. What? That was
Maybe
his third stint here?
Yeah.
Was that the second stint here? I don't remember. I don't remember, man. We kept bringing him back and bringing him back. That was funny. But, yeah, scooting Reath is fun, man. Because instead of shooting mid-range, Reath actually shoots threes. Remember, like, Kamen, like, occasionally would shoot a three, like, late in his career?
Yeah.
And was, like, too late, though?
Yep.
Shout out to Blazer4L. I think that's Blazer for Life. $2 donation. Says his shooting clears out the driving lanes so much. Yeah, the offense is easier with Reath in the game because of the space he provides. He's an easy kick-out pass. The pick and pop on double teams, a lot of times it's easier to pass it out of a double on a pick and pop to the popper than it is on a pick and roll to the guy that's rolling. Because the guy is rolling behind where the defenders are trapping from. It's a little easier to get that pass to a guy who pops. So I think he just makes offense easier for the guys on the court next to him. Thank you for the donation. And shout out Carter Dick. Member for 14 months says, random question, but taking everything into consideration, players, cap space, picks, which team situation would you or wouldn't you trade for ours? I mean, I'd take Denver's situation. I'd love to be a contending team. I'd probably, I'd take Boston, Milwaukee. Like, I'd probably take those situations because those teams have legitimate chances to win a chip. As far as young teams, like OKC is looking very, very good. Other than that, I don't think there's any clear-cut young team that I'd trade our situation for. Is there any that come to mind for you, Eric?
I mean, the Magic's young core is pretty nice, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like the Blazers, so.
Indy, maybe. Yeah, I mean, but Indy is just because of Halliburton, I feel like.
Yeah.
I guess you got Mathurin and Jarris Walker there. Like, you got some other pieces, but Indy's easy because Halliburton is arguably a top 10 player this year, so.
I don't know. Because the Blazers' young core is still mostly guards, though, and I think it's still predicated to me on what we eventually get for Jeremy and Brogdon and that kind of stuff. So I know it's kind of a cop-out, but I'm not.
He did say taking everything into account, players, cap space, and picks, so just, the entirety of the situation. I mean, we're in a solid spot. We got some extra picks.
Yeah, we're in a good spot.
OKC has even more picks, and OKC clearly is like the team that every rebuilding team is jealous of and wants to try and replicate their rebuild. But it's easy when you get a future top 10 player and like 6 first-round picks for Paul George, or however many picks they got. Yeah. It's really easy to start a rebuild when you get that package because they're trying to sign Kawhi Leonard. So, unfortunately, we already traded away our Paul George. We traded away Dame, and we got less, even though Dame was better. Which is more so, okay, so you got lucky, because the Clippers had to sign Kawhi. The only way they could sign Kawhi is if they got Paul George. So they basically traded all those assets for both Paul George and Kawhi. But OKC reaped the benefits. So it's kind of hard to replicate something like that. So just kind of got to maximize our own rebuild. Mm-hmm. Chat playing on borrowed time. That is, man, get out of here with that take. Get out of here with that take. Get out of here. Get out of here, dude. It's always that guy. Oh, that guy always has something weird to say. Anyway, before.
Is there another?
Oh, Daniel G.
What's up, Daniel?
Member for 14 months. Good to see Daniel, man. Says, I'm usually a bit of a Grant hater, but Grant has had a few good defense and energy plays. The energy seemed contagious. Yeah, I mean, Grant's been solid. Like, I don't expect him to be the main hustle guy. I just expect him to not, like, be lazy. Like, just as long as his effort is adequate, I'm good because of everything he provides offensively. So, I never expect him to be a good rebounder. Like, he's a bad rebounder at a power forward spot for whatever reason. I mean, in this game, 2 rebounds in 28 minutes. Like, he can't, for whatever reason, he can't rebound. But what that guy can do offensively is phenomenal. And today he had a quiet game, and it didn't even matter. Normally, it's like in order to have a good offensive game, Grant has to have a big night. He has to have 20, 25 points. But that just shows you the way the offense has improved, because remember, we were the worst offense in the league a few games ago. And we're still near the bottom, but we are climbing out of it, right? Like, I don't know where we're at in terms of adjusted offensive rating right now. Stats updated for Tuesday. So we are still 28th, but we're slowly climbing. And we've had some big offensive nights, and I think that does coincide with Anfernee Simons coming back. Like, the offense looks completely night and day different with Anfernee Simons coming back. Without Anfernee Simons today, there's no way we come close to having this offensive night. Like, I know the bench went off, but the team looks competent for the most part offensively with Anfernee Simons back. Some of that is Scoot Henderson has improved as well, but the offense is like fun to watch again, at least on like some nights. You know, there's some nights where it's rough, but I was going into games there earlier in the season, Eric, where I was like, oh, I can't wait to watch us shoot 20% from 3. I was just dreading watching our offense. Mm-hmm. Now I'm excited to watch what we do offensively. So it's just a completely different feel for me offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ant's been the key, and he was in there with that second unit when they started going off. It was him, Scoot, Thibault, Jabari, and Reath. So I do think that as Blazer fans said, he did have a couple of moments where he turned the ball over, took a really bad 3 in the first half that he airballed, and he does still have his moments where I think he's trying to learn when to play make, when to shoot the ball. But
bad shots happen with any scorer that's aggressive. Any scorer that has the confidence that they need to be a lethal scorer,
of course,
will have a game where we'll have a couple shots each game where they're questionable. And that's what I always said about Dame, because people be like, every game, Dame took a really bad shot and had a bad turnover. He sucked at the end of the first half. People say that about Dame, and it's like, when you are responsible for doing that much offensively, you're going to have a stretch here where you struggle, where you have a turnover, and where you are maybe a little too aggressive looking for your shot. But at the end of the game, does it balance out? With Anfernee Simons, the answer has pretty much always been yes this season.
Yeah, and what has Ant played? Like 10 games now this season or something, if that.
Yeah.
How many games has he played? And this is his first season without Dame here. Like, people just expect him to be Dame or whatever, or a version of Dame without any kind of learning curve either. Like I know he's in his 6th season, so I'm not saying he needs time, but like, this is his first time. He's had 10 games of experience, like, being the guy and having an entire team's defense, like, predicated towards him, like the Kings were tonight. And the Kings defense, whether you want to give Anfernee Simons credit for this or not, but the reason Portland scored 130 points in this game was because the Kings defense did everything they could to stop Anfernee Simons, and that allowed everyone else to get much easier lanes to the basket and open shots than they normally would against a more standard defense. So yes, Anfernee Simons was a huge reason for the scoring outburst and this win tonight.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't understand why anyone would not see that.
Malcolm Brogdon had a higher plus minus. Bro, you can't base everything off plus minus, man, because it's based on the other 4 players on the court with you. Now, some players will play well and outscore their opponents because they're playing well. You can use that for units more than you can individual players. You don't penalize a dude like Simons for being a plus what was he, like a +2 compared to Malcolm Brogdon, or Simons was a +4, Brogdon was a +13. Just watch how they play. Legitimately, just watch how they play.
Brogdon had a pretty good game today, too.
And Brogdon had a good game. Like, it doesn't have to be an either or, this guy's better than that guy. Like, I don't understand why so many Blazer fans tried to downplay Anfernee Simons. I don't understand it at all. Like, the dude is 24. He's averaging 27 points per game and 5.5 assists and doing it efficiently. And we're just sitting there, like, acting like that's not good. Meanwhile, it's like you look at Devin Booker, he's averaging like 28 and 8, right? Those numbers aren't that much higher than what Anfernee Simons is doing right now. But for some reason, Blazer fans find a way to just completely downplay what Anfernee Simons is. And it doesn't make sense to me, man. Like, this dude is on your team. He is your guy. He is the epitome of, like, what you want in terms of professional, right? Like, you don't really have to worry about him getting in trouble. Like, he's well-mannered, right? And he puts the work in. That's why he's improved so much. But it's like we're sitting here acting like 27 and 5.5 assists when this is his first real chance at being a lead guard ain't good enough? I just don't understand it. He's always had this section of the fan base that has tried to downplay him by all means necessary. And it doesn't make sense. We always have these people come in our streams. They're the same people that wanted to trade him for Dorian Finney-Smith a couple of years ago. It's the same people that wanted to trade him for just basic role players a couple years ago. And we were the ones sitting there saying, no, we don't want to trade him for those role players. Now the dude's averaging 27 and 5.5, and it ain't good enough? I mean, come on. I don't get it. What more does he need to do? He needs to be Drew Holiday defensively and average 30 and 10? Like, I don't understand.
Slim says, still thinking I could share the ball better in crunch time, but I get it. He's that dude. I mean, yeah, like I said, he's still trying to learn.
Yeah. You can have patience with him, too. It's not just for rookies. Like, this is his first time being the lead guard on a team like this. So, yeah, like, he's improved his playmaking, though, pretty consistently throughout his career. He wasn't like a playmaker for others or a guy who made reads his first couple of years in the league. He was basically just a shooter. And now it's like, yeah, 27 and 5.5 ain't good enough. He's making all these plays for himself off the dribble, and he's making plays for others off the dribble, but 5.5 assists ain't good enough. He was a shooter like 2.5 years ago. He was literally just a shooter with the upside for more. He's fulfilled that upside. Like, we can sit here and nitpick all day, you know what I mean? And some of them can be constructive criticism. Like, there are plays where the pass is the right play and he takes a shot. Like, there is room for constructive criticism. But, man, expectations, I guess, are too high if what he is doing isn't good enough.
Slim says, I would have traded him for Mikhail. Yeah, of course. Like, no one's, like, I don't know, man. Like,
but we didn't.
That wasn't on the table anyway. Like, that was never a possibility of a trade.
Yeah. Straight up couldn't do it. Like, that's fine. Like, I'll keep the guy who averages 27 and 5.5 then. I don't get it. It's just the ability to overthink things with him that this section of this fan base apparently has. I don't get it. This dude in chat, I mean, this is just the dumb stuff that we get in chat. Like, people bring him down because I pump him up like a balloon. He needs to be an alpha. If your basketball analysis includes the term alpha, just stop talking, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
So Chauncey,
I didn't like that Chauncey used that phrase. If you're using the term alpha in 2023, it's almost 2024. If you're using the term alpha, I mean, come on, man. Like, what? He needs to be even more aggressive? He's pretty aggressive. What's an alpha? Define alpha. Chat. Please define alpha. Like, is he a beta? Like, what are we talking about here?
But you want him to be an alpha, but you also want him to give up the ball more in the crunch time and not take those tough shots that all the alphas take in those situations.
Yeah, like I don't get it. We're just saying stuff at this point, and that's my problem with the downplaying of Anfernee Simons. Is it's just hot air. It feels like it's just stuff that doesn't mean anything. So
Needs to be high.
He's phenomenal. Not a natural leader. Neither is Kawhi. He's not a natural leader because he's quiet. So is Kawhi. Kawhi won multiple championships. He won a championship with the Raptors. You don't need a rah-rah guy as your best player in order to win a championship. Look at Jokic isn't a guy that people look at and think of him as like a vocal leader, right? People that say Ant is not a leader, it's only because he's not super vocal, right? But neither is Jokic. Like, he just won a championship. There's different types of leadership. Okay? You can be a leader without being a guy that's going to cuss out all your teammates and scream at them in the locker room if you're down 5 points at halftime.
I mean, I've definitely seen him be more vocal than he has in the past. He's definitely trying to be more of a vocal leader.
Yeah, let him grow into that. Like, Dame wasn't super vocal until Aldridge left. Like, you know what I mean? I truly believe you can learn to be a leader. I truly believe you can learn to be more vocal. Like, but here's the thing. If you're just saying a bunch of stuff all the time, your word, in a way, can hold less weight. If you're a guy like Ant, if Ant speaks up, people are going to listen because he doesn't speak up much.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So there's different types there's different types of leadership. Like we're just knocking him for not being a leader, not being an alpha. What are we talking about? We need him to be a drill sergeant, Eric, and average 30 and 10.
Let's just trade him for Colin Sexton then. He'll give us some chest beating and pounding the floor. And
here's the thing: if Scoot and Ant are the future backcourt, maybe Sharp's in, the mix too. Whatever. Like, just hypothetically, if we didn't have Sharp and Scoot and Ant were both going to become all-stars, those guys' temperaments match each other. Like, Ant's the leader by example, and Scoot's the guy who's vocal and like rah-rah guy, right? You don't have to have Ant be super vocal. Like, it baffles me. So, people just say ridiculous stuff. Drives me crazy. But I love Ant. He's a phenomenal player. He's a good dude. He works his ass off. He's improved year after year after year. He's improved in the areas he needs to improve in. He gives effort defensively, even if he's not great. And he's 24 years old, averaging 27 and 5.5. And he has unshakable confidence. Like, there's so much to love about Anfernee Simons. I just don't understand why people focus on the negatives. Like, it legitimately bothers me.
There's always the weird comments in chat, man.
They're just silly comments. It's like people leave comments, and I'm like, I hope for their sake that they're trolling.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, and it's basically Michael Jordan. We did it. I'm so happy with ownership. Okay, dude.
Like, why are you bringing up Brock Purdy, bro? You're getting a timeout. I don't want to deal with you.
Oh, that's
for
that
5.
Guy.
Who? What guy?
Is that the guy who's
I don't
weird
know.
Comments on Twitter about it?
Bro, stop being a weirdo. Okay, if you keep being a weirdo, I'm gonna ban you for 24 hours. Okay? Because you're making me not want to deal with you for an entire day. All right? So, don't tempt me. Because I will do it. With no regrets. A whole 24 hours, yes. A whole 24 hours.
King Sam wants to know if Scoot has any chance to come back in the Rookie of the Year race. Unfortunately, I think, at least in this first year, I mean, obviously Scoot can turn around his image and stuff like that, but when you get off to a bad start, I think it's really hard to overcome that. And to win Rookie of the Year, you have to be really freaking good. Now, could he do it? Sure. But, I mean, Chet and Wemby, despite that team being pretty crappy, Wemby's numbers look ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see any way Scoot after the bad start and just the narrative around him being a bust and stuff after the first few weeks, fair or unfair. I just don't think that's going to be possible to overcome that this year. He'll still maybe make the Rising Stars game, hopefully, and Sharp should too after getting snubbed last year. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he really will be in the running for Rookie of the Year unless he just goes on some sort of monster tear.
Honestly, at this point, if he makes an all-rookie team, I'm satisfied with that. So.
Right. Rich was joking that he should get comeback player of the year for his improvement during the season.
For coming back from being a certified bust. That's funny. Should Scoot start again by the end of the year when we're tanking? He'll start again. Will Tamani make it? I'm not sure because I don't, his value's on the defense.
Really tough, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to, we got a donation from Jack M, $5 donation, says, love the show, fellas. How about Grant for Rashawn Holmes, Maxi Kleba, Omax Prosper, and a first? Thank you, Jack, for the $5 donation. Omax is a guy I liked in last year's draft, and if Dallas had a first they could trade, that would be intriguing, but I don't believe they do, right, Eric?
I think they could trade their 2027 first.
Yeah, and Luka's still probably going to be there. I don't know. I don't even know if they can trade first. That's not bad. If you get a young
I'm like
prospect,
99% sure they can trade their 2027 because they traded their 2029.
I thought they traded two first for Kyrie.
No, they traded their 2029 first. It was only one, and they purposely did that so they'd still have one pick they could trade.
I could have swore they traded all their first, but I'm not sure if they can even. I don't know. If you can get an unprotected first and a young prospect, that's not a bad return. If it's a solid young prospect, Omax hasn't really panned out this year, but I do think he can be a solid 3-and-D guy going forward.
They can trade their 2027.
Okay, so it's not a terrible package, but for a guy like Grant, I'd just hold out for more if you're gonna trade him. Unfortunately, it sounds like the Blazers aren't even gonna listen to offers for him. Which even if you're a fan of keeping him, you should want the Blazers to listen to offers for him because you never know what you're going to be offered. So you might as well just listen to what comes in, and maybe a package comes in that is so good for the rebuild and so good for the future you can't pass it up. You should want to know what teams are willing to trade for him, even if you don't plan on trading him. You should do your due diligence. There's no downside to doing so. You don't have to trade him just because you listen to offers. So it's going to annoy me if, the Blazers don't listen to any offers for him. I'm not saying they have to trade him at the deadline or anything like that, but if they don't even listen to offers, that's just kind of laziness, in my opinion. Why wouldn't you just do your due diligence and see what's out there?
Yeah.
So.
Go
ahead.
Oh, people are asking what a Brogdon package would look like or what we should target in a Brogdon trade. I still think an expiring in a first is what I would go after. If you can get a young guy like Tamani, a Tamani type young player, preferably a center in that deal too, sure, great. Throw that in too.
All right, that dude's gone for 24 hours. If you come into chat and try and annoy me, I will literally just ban you for trying to annoy me. Those are the people that'll come into the chat, they'll just try to annoy me. They'll try to get on my nerves. And then when I ban them, they run to Reddit and say, he banned me for nothing. He's such an asshole. Screw him. So, goodbye. We got the stream to 100 likes. Awesome. Hit that like button. It helps us out. Shout out to Isaac Figueroa, member for 5 months, says, Reath over 8, and guys, he was draining threes. I'm not gonna go that far. Like, I think for their money, definitely. But I like Reath. We've seen him have games where he doesn't really have an impact at all. And we've seen him have games where he's hitting shots and making plays, and he can definitely do some things offensively. And it's not an either-or thing, so, I don't really want to compare them, and I don't want to be negative towards Ayton on a win where he doesn't even play. Like, I'm trying to hold back, I think it's on the record now, like, he isn't a guy that I particularly take a liking to, but I don't really want to go into it right now, so. Chat's wilding tonight. Chat loves winning. Because they just come in here and go wild, Eric.
I was thinking, because Taylor Packer says you already know Cronin will send Brogdon where he wants to go, so protected first is like the best we'll get. And I was thinking we won't get a first-round pick. We'll get someone who has first-round value. And I was like, all right, who in the first round has been like complete non-factor that they could try to claim as a first? The problem with that, Tori?
Yeah.
The Blazers have that guy on their roster.
Yeah. True. Very true. If we could trade him for Chris Murray, we would.
Yeah, if we could. No, that's not even a joke. I think we would do that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm laughing because it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anyone else that comes close to that?
I don't know.
To being that Keon Johnson, like, I don't know, Ben Shepherd?
Grady Dick, I don't know.
Like, Bryce Sensabaugh's barely played, but he has upside.
He's done well in the G League, yeah.
I wouldn't hate getting Kobe Brown. Like, I'm looking at this. Julian Strother is legit. I mean, his game translates so perfectly to the NBA, and Denver is such a perfect fit for him. Like, I was saying that well before the draft. And he's been very, very solid for Denver. Like, he's been a low inconsistent, but he's had some really big performances. When you draft a rookie at the end of the first to a winning situation, like, that's all you can hope for. But he can knock down threes and then attack closeouts and hit a floater. So Strother's been solid. Nick Smith Jr. There you go.
So true, Taylor Packer. It's got to be a guard. So Nick Smith Jr. is perfect because it's got to be someone who's got, like, even if he's good, is blocked by our three guards anyway. So,
hey, he's I'll give him credit. He's 15 for 31 from three this year. It's 48%. Like,
Leonard Miller was a second-round pick, so that doesn't really work.
And we love Leonard Miller over here, so.
I mean, if we get Leonard Miller back in a Brogdon trade, I'd be happy. But I just don't see.
Yeah. There was a lot of guys early second that I liked. I was a Colby Jones fan. I was a Jordan Walsh fan. Andre Jackson Jr. I think this was a pretty deep draft. But we got the right second round pick in Tamani. And then we screwed up the end of the first with Chris Murray. Toria Gonzaga simp. Hey, my projections for almost every Gonzaga player have been pretty accurate, so. I mean, look at Chet right now, man. So many people told me he wasn't going to amount to anything. They wouldn't draft Chet at all, even in the second round. Like, people even said, white American-born big men never turn into anything. Like, as if there's been a player like him before. All right, like, ridiculous stuff. So, he's legit. He's legit. You guys think Rupert would be good eventually? Hopefully. He's been shooting the ball decently in the G League, which is what you want to see. Let's talk about a couple other things regarding this game. But before we do so, this stream is brought to you by BetUS. We got college football playoff coming up in less than a week, Eric. It's Monday, January 1st. Chat, if you guys want to bet on those games, check out BetUS. because our link in the description box below will give you a 125% deposit match. If you deposit $100, they will give you $125 free dollars to bet on, to bet with. So if you want to get in on college football action coming up, there's some big bowl games. Oregon playing Liberty coming up for you Ducks fans, as well as the college football playoff. You can get in on that action. You got football going into the final weeks. We got some football geniuses, it seems like, in chat today, Eric. So if you are a genius football fan, you can try your luck with BetUS. Of course, NBA action as well is the funnest, in my opinion, to bet on. And I've been having some fun with the NBA so far this year because I think the league is in a really fun spot. So you guys can have some fun. You guys can use BetUS. You use that link. It'll give you a 125% deposit match. It'll also help out the channel. So shout out to them for being our sportsbook sponsor all year long. We're going to be back with picks against the spread on Thursday on our second channel, which has a link in the description. We pick spread picks for NBA games every Monday and Thursday on our second channel. It's a lot of fun. We do chat polls. They get a vote. They've been in the lead all year long. So shout out to chat and shout out to BetUS for providing those spread picks. Shout out to Braden Tennis with a $5 donation. Says, cheers to y'all. Good game. Listening to y'all on my way home from the game. Helping me stay awake. Much love as always. We love that we're helping you stay awake instead of making you fall asleep, Braden.
Yeah.
But I've heard like somebody saw like 3 people on the max watching our post-game show like at once, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Also, this is not financial advice, but you will lose money if you bet against Brock Purdy and the 49ers again this season because they will not lose again. So
let's get it. Dude, I don't understand Brock Purdy haters. Why? Everybody loves a good underdog story except for Brock Purdy's. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense to me, man. But like 3 fluky interceptions, like
his first one was bad, but
his first one was bad, but like the next 2 were just tipped, right? Kind of unlucky. And then the last one, he got his arm hit. Like, is fluky. The Niners outgained them yardage wise, so I don't understand. I don't understand the hate, but you know what? I am this close to putting somebody else in a 24-hour timeout. Anyway, thanks, Braden.
Because he plays for the Niners, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I get that part. Just, yeah. Anyway, chat. Where are you guys listening from? Let me know in chat. I'm curious. I know some of you listen on the Max on the way home. Apparently, do you listen on a TV, phone, tablet? I'm always curious about the people in chat because I love you all. Shout out to Rip City Retro, who I also love. $5 donation says, my Secret Santa gift this year is this dono for Gray Hughes. Quote, so refreshing to see a point guard in Scoot look for his teammates plus find them. There. Merry Christmas, Gray. Thank you, Rich, for the $5 donation and the Gray Hughes impersonation.
And
where's Gray been?
I don't know. But Rich dropped a Christmas video yesterday.
Yeah.
And he had the intro to it was like he changed the lyrics of songs to like make fun of Blazers and stuff, like Jody and Burt Cold and stuff. So it's super funny. So
I know. He was like, have you seen this yet? I'm like, dude, I haven't had time. Had time. He's like, just the intro. I'm like, yes, I will watch it when I get a chance. Because whenever Rich is like, yo, you should watch this thing of mine, I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be funny. So I just need him to start sending the clips so I can like play them and then be like, guys, if you like this, go subscribe.
Yeah.
Go subscribe. Rip City Retro.
He does like a fake advertisement for a Blazers Christmas album. It's hilarious.
Dude, he motivates me to be more creative with our content.
Yeah.
I'll see something like that, and I'm like, man, we just sitting here after a post-game show just talking all year, which is cool. You know, we do a lot. I shouldn't sell ourselves short. He just motivates me. I'm going to try and come up with like some new segments. I actually have a list of stuff that I don't even remember what's on it, but I do want to come up like New Year's. I want to toss in some new segments, some new fun things into post-game shows, some things that I had planned, just haven't really gotten time to work on yet. So stay tuned because I'm motivated by Rich. I don't have his sense of humor, unfortunately, but there's other things I can do. So just wait and see. Any other players you want to kind of get into from this game? Ish Wainwright shot a 30-footer.
Congrats to Ivy Baji, his first ever NBA
finally
game.
Got in a game
plays
for
in
us.
A game for 2 minutes and runs around and does nothing. But yeah,
literally didn't record a stat. But hey, he recorded 2 minutes on the stat sheet, so congrats to him.
Taylor Packer says you should have a segment called Aiton's Corner where you have to say one nice thing about him no matter how bad you think he played. Why, though?
Hey, Aiton did a really good job sleepwalking out there tonight. There. I'll find ways to annoy you, Taylor, with that.
Aiton wore the same sweatshirt he wore in that kids shopping video. There you go.
Oh man, brutal. I want to see Torrey versus Eric one-on-one basketball game.
You don't see that.
Eric doesn't want you to see that, apparently.
We played one-on-one several times. Torrey's beat me every time, so.
It was a humbling experience for me. Let's see. Scoot versus Wemby next game winner gets Rookie of the Year. I might try and go to the next game, honestly. I want to see Wemby. Sax
says my thing wasn't nice to say. It was neutral at best. How do you know that I don't think that wearing the same outfit is a good thing, not a bad thing?
Yeah.
Or who are you to tell me that?
If you're wearing the same outfit twice, that must mean it's a good outfit.
Yeah.
When you're making a max contract, so. What does that comment mean? What is that? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Brandon Roy is 1080, Ant is 750.
Okay.
Because I'm affiliated with 750. We know who's affiliated with 1080, right? So that could be he could mean that very positively or very negatively. I don't know which one it is. Any other players though? Chat, is there anyone we didn't talk about that you want us to talk about? Let us know in the chat. We appreciate your guys' liveliness tonight. We love it.
I do think it's interesting that both Sabonis and Fox went the F off tonight, and
I know
no one else did anything for them.
We should talk about other players a little bit more. Like Fox tonight, 43 points, 8 boards, 4 assists. 5 turnovers, 16 for 26 from the field, 7 for 15 from 3. He was like 7 for 12 from 3, bro. Like, that's insane. And then he like started really feeling himself, thinking he was truly Steph Curry, and missed his last 3, and they were all like step backs contested. Mm-hmm. And then Sabonis, 14 for 19. He had 34 points, 12 boards, 5 assists. Those guys combined for 77 points. Their next highest scorer, Harrison Barnes,
no one else had 10,
9 points.
Yeah.
Their next highest scorer, Malik Monk, 7 points on 3 for 11. Keegan Murray, 5 points on 2 for 11. Hey, I'll say one nice thing about Chris Murray. He looked better than Keegan Murray tonight. So, because Keegan Murray struggled, man. He kind of had a breakout there. Like, he's been killing it the past 5 games. He did nothing. Herder did nothing. Like, I feel like Herder's a guy that kills the Blazers. He did nothing. Malik Monk's a guy that kills the Blazers. He did nothing. The Blazer killers didn't do anything tonight. Trey Lyles plays 14 minutes, doesn't take a single shot. This is kind of a weird game from the Kings. It was just literally Fox and Sabonis against the world. Wemby's out the next 2 games. Don't buy tickets. Is he really?
I'm checking on that right now.
That would be... I mean, at least I saved some money, I guess. But that sucks. Is Murray the most common last name in the NBA? It might be. It might be Brown, though. Jaylen Brown, Bruce Brown, Kobe Brown. I'm probably forgetting a few.
Did he hurt it tonight?
Is it from when he stepped on the Mavs, like, ball boy or whatever? That was so weird. Tori, you should get this group together for a game. Yeah, I need to do, like, monthly pickup runs. We need to do more community stuff. It's just been kind of easy to be, like, checked out in a way, because a lot of our viewers are kind of checked out. Normally it does pick back up a little bit after Christmas. Like, this stream has been a lot of fun tonight, so shout out to all of you. I want to do more community stuff.
Yeah.
I might try and get a restaurant sponsor second half of the year. That was something I wanted to do, but, like, I'm doing a ton. Like, it's not me being lazy, you know what I mean? Like, I'm literally looking at my whiteboard. Like, I have my whole week through Saturday scheduled, and it's just busy. Work stuff, so.
Were you serious about going with us on Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, figure out how to do it in terms of logistics, but, yeah. Every time you guys do a get-together, I have work. Yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. Definitely, we'll try. Thoughts on Chauncey tonight, Eric?
Thought it was interesting to start Moses Brown, who I guess is the one player we haven't talked about at all.
He's big and rebounds. And that's
Moses is okay on the boards, but didn't really do much else. Kind of hurt to have him in the short roll when Anfernee was getting double teamed because he wasn't really doing much with it. You could tell a huge difference once Reath came in the game. What someone who could actually score from that spot could do. And then he got bodied by Sabonis like the first couple plays of the game and just got out-muscled. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I don't think Chauncey coached a terrible game. It's tough because like that lineup he had in there was working, and then he subbed. He put Grant back in, and then we like immediately blow the lead pretty much before half. I'm not saying it's Grant's fault or anything, but it's a tough balance between keeping players fresh and leaving a lineup out there that's doing well. That's the only like kind of gripes I have, but I thought for the most part he coached a pretty good game. Seems like the game plan was to let Fox and Sabonis get theirs and just try to stop all the other players from going off, which they did for the most part. And I think he did a pretty good job tonight.
Yeah, I mean they defend the 3-point line really well. They give up a lot of shots to the rim because of it, but like if you're gonna give up a lot of shots to the rim, you might as well run teams off the 3-point line, right? So 10 for 42, 23.8%. And you look like Keegan Murray 1 for 7, Kevin Huerter 1 for 5, Vezenkov 0 for 3, Monk 1 for 7, Harrison Barnes 0 for 3. Like those guys are their 3-point shooters. On a night where Fox goes 7 for 15 from 3, you hold them to 10 for 42. Outside of Fox, they were 3 for 27.
Yeah.
That is insanely bad.
Keegan missed, all of his?
That's like 11%, Eric. That's horrible. Yeah, Keegan 1 for 7. Yeah, that's terrible. So, you're able to run him off 3-point line. We're always going to give up points to the paint. Like, we gave up 62 points to the paint, but we matched them. We had 60. The problem is with this team is, like, they get beat on the interior is the main problem. We are one of the... I'll pull up the stats, actually, right here. In terms of...
Well...
In terms of... Go ahead.
I would say with 3:19 left in the first quarter, we had already given up 20 points in the paint, so it's pretty good to only give up 42 the rest of the game. Yeah, I'll take that.
That is true. That is true. But like just statistically, we are the third worst defensive rebounding team in terms of percentage of rebounds we grab. We give up the second most shots at the rim in the league defensively. We give up the second best percentage at the rim in the league. So we give up the second most shots and the second best shooting percentage at the rim in the league. Like, that is a big problem. Now, some of that is a byproduct of guarding the three-point line well, so it's not all bad. We hold teams to the second lowest three-point percentage, and we let them get up the eighth fewest threes. So you can make a case that, like, our three-point defense is maybe the best in the league. Like, Houston is the only team that holds teams to a lower percentage at 32.1%, but they give up a lot of them. Like, that's a pretty low percentage, though, so it's not really efficient shots, so it's fine that they're giving up more than them, if that makes sense. Like, but we defend the three-point line really well. So, you know, some of the problems with the defense at the rim is, like, we're giving up drives because we're running guys off the line. So it's a byproduct. It's not necessarily a negative, but you would like to see those numbers be better. Like, Houston holds teams to the 9th best rim percentage. We hold teams to like 29th best. So teams shoot 67.4% at the rim against us. Against Houston, they only shoot 60.9. So that's the thing, is it doesn't have to mean that you get carved up in the paint just because you run teams off the three-point line, but it is a byproduct. So, but you look at that, we are third worst defensive rebounding team, give up the second highest shots at the rim in the league, give up the second highest percentage at the rim in the league, and then offensively, we shoot the second worst percentage at the rim in the league. So it's just all like that. That's the biggest, most glaring thing, is it's interior problem. It's an interior problem. And that's part of the reason why it's just like, is Ayton really impacting the game for us? Because those are all areas that I feel like he could truly help out this team in, but he's not. This team, if they
more
were
than one person, but yeah,
it does. It's just like, that's where our issues lie. That's where our primary issues lie. Is percentage at the rim, both on offense and defense. How many shots we give up at the rim and our defensive rebounding. So, just what the stats say. Like, I don't know. I don't know how we necessarily improve that. I don't know if we should maybe stop running guys off the three-point line so hard. I don't know what the fix is, but it is interesting to see all those stats line up with each other like that.
Alicia says, I don't know why the Kings didn't spam Sabonis post up more. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, that was kind of puzzling tonight because we didn't really have an answer for that.
But then again, like, all those guys that had bad shooting nights normally shoot the three ball pretty well.
Yeah,
like,
I think we got pretty lucky there.
They live with that. But the thing is, they're an average 3-point shooting team. Last year, the Kings were the 9th best 3-point shooting team. But they were also the number one offense. They were also good at the rim. They were 4th best shooting at the rim, 3rd best shooting mid-range, 9th best shooting 3-point. So, like, if you can be top 10 shooting at the rim, mid-range, and 3-point, like, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. That's what they were last year. This year, they're close. They're actually 18th best from 3. I lied. They're 8th best at the rim, 10th best at mid-range, 18th best at 3. So all those numbers have gone down.
Yeah.
And part of that coincides with, like, Keegan Murray's had some struggles this year. I don't know what Kevin Huerter's shooting this year, but some of those guys are having down years. So do you change? You know, I mean, that's kind of the dilemma for them. Do you spam more Sabonis, or do you keep having faith in those guys because those guys were good last year? Right? Like, Huerter last year shot 40% from 3. This year, he's 35.7. So do you keep having faith in those guys with the hope that they will improve back to kind of what they were last year? Or do you start adjusting things? I don't know. I mean, they've won a lot of games. So in a game like this, it's like, I think they probably should have spammed more Sabonis because of who the Blazers were playing. But also, it's like, they probably don't want to deviate from their style of play because it's won them games, and it's what's going to get Huerter and Keegan Murray and these guys rolling again, and Keegan Murray started rolling again. He was really good the last 5 games.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else stand out from this game? We've kind of efficiently covered this game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was pretty
Salvador
efficient.
says 27 losses. Yikes. Yeah, the Pistons set the record, right?
Yep.
Most losses in a row.
Heard they were getting booed. Like, that's brutal, man. That's brutal. I feel bad for the players, man. Like, some of them are responsible for it, I guess, but
Someone kept asking earlier if you would trade Kate Cunningham for Scoot.
I mean, I think you would have to if you were the Blazers, right?
I don't know.
I mean, Cade tonight, the people will focus on the losing streak, but Cade tonight, 41 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 15 for 21 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. Like, Cade is freaking good. He's not the reason why they suck. Like, this year he's 22 points and 7 assists, and he's 6'6", so you could potentially play him next to Sharp and Ant and have it be a better fit than Scoot with Sharp and Ant, right?
Yeah.
So I think you'd have to. The thing is like, Cade's only 32% from 3 for his career. He's 31% for his career, 32% this year. So can Scoot be a better shooter than that? I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about. I think if we had Cade, we would say hell no to trading him for Scoot. But since we have Scoot, we're hesitant to trade him for Cade. Like, I don't know. What would you do? Would you do it?
I mean, yeah, I probably would, but I don't know. It just seems weird that we're having these conversations where people are asking those questions. I don't know.
Yeah, Cade is safer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Olson has a great point. Not that Scoot can't be better, because he might, but Cade is safer right now because he's already more proven. So, without knowing exactly what Scoot becomes, yeah, but it's like, I feel the hesitancy in doing that trade is like, if that was hypothetically on the table and we did it, Scoot Henderson would become like a superstar in 4 years, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
knowing us.
Or he's the next Killian Hayes.
Don't even utter Killian Hayes' name in regards to Scoot, man. I feel like Scoot... No, he's not no Killian Hayes. I'm disgusted.
I'm joking. I'm saying if we traded him to the Pistons, we'd be rooting for him kind of to become Killian Hayes versus whatever.
If we traded him, I couldn't root against him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't root against him. I like Scoot, man. I like Scoot. Oh, come on, bro. Jared Wallace was like Larry Bird, but he wasn't no Ant. What? What is... We got like 3 people in chat tonight that have been absolutely tripping.
I think that's one of the guys you timed out. Back on another.
Well, we win a couple games and the trolls come back. Would you look at that? I'd love to see it. Anyway.
Thank you for watching, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're just chilling for the rest of the stream. You know, we'll stream a little bit longer.
I want to know what everyone's best Christmas present was. I got a new webcam, unless you can't tell.
Yeah, how does Eric's webcam look? It looks better. It definitely looks better. I think people don't want to admit that they were just like staring at your face, though, so you know they didn't say anything. But now they have
a couple people mentioned, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it looks good. I got a new bed, so I was sleeping on the same bed for like 13, 14 years, and I needed a new one. So it like lifts. It like has pumps on it, like it can lift and store stuff underneath it. It's really cool.
Junie got a Chris Kaman jersey. All right, trolling. Taylor Packer loves burritos, so you got a Chipotle gift card. That's good.
Rich, am I going to get copyright claimed if I play your video?
There's nothing to get copyright claimed. And if Rich does, I'll take him out.
Take him out? Yeah, for dinner.
Nah, I'm taking him out.
Tori finally getting REM sleep. You love to see it. But yeah, I literally spent 3 hours today putting that together, dude. It was brutal. Like, from using the Allen wrench, like, my fingers are sore. Junie says I got a Manta sleep mask. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's the same person who said they got a Chris Kaman jersey, so...
I don't care. Hell yeah. Hey, they're doing my advertising for me, so hell yeah. Did you sign your old bed for me yet? Oh, I accidentally took it to the dump, Taylor. I apologize. Maybe if you didn't love Aiden so much, I would have remembered. Eric Olson says, Tori, I got a Manta sleep mask for my mom. Awesome. Yeah, I got one for mine too.
Good job.
Yeah. Shout out to you.
Yeah, that's why I guarantee I'll take you out, Rich. Easy pickings.
Should we trade Scoot for Hawkes? Stop. Just stop.
Zach wants a new bed reveal.
We'll play Rich's. Rich, just DM it to me. Just DM the clip to me. Can we get a bed reveal? Nah.
You made him think about it for a second.
Yeah, nah. If they're yeah, nah. You can't see who's in my bed. No, I'm just kidding. Hey guys, any update how Harkless has been doing in the Rip City remix so far? Honestly, I've kind of checked out from the remix like the last couple of weeks.
The games I've watched, he's played a little bit, but he has like a random good player or whatever, but not anything like too memorable.
Yeah, he's 7 games, 20 minutes a game, 39% from the field, 31% from 3, averaging 5.6 points per game. Reading the G League stats on their website's kind of weird. It's Jody Allen, yes. Trying to get her to spend money on the team. Okay, that's not cool to joke about, so 24-hour ban. Goodbye. Okay, we got a Rip City Retro submission to my DMs. Okay, so it's just a link. So should I just play the audio? I should play the video, huh? I could just put it up with the Tankathon in the place of the Tankathon since we're not doing Tankathon tonight.
All right.
So let's see. If I do this, okay, and then I do this, and then I do...
And go subscribe to Rip City Retro.
And then I do this.
Let's get rich to 700.
Okay. This is a solid setup, right? Right? Yeah. I'm just not gonna full screen it. Why did it condense? What is going on? I don't understand what is happening right now at all.
That's probably fine though too.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop messing with it. Okay, let's hear it. You've heard this already, so this is my first time hearing whatever this is about to be.
This holiday season, make sure you celebrate the very first year of Rip City Retro and Christmas by getting this first ever Rip City Retro Christmas album. That's right. For the first time ever, you'll get such classic Christmas songs as these. I saw Jody kissing Santa Claus, even as he tried to squirm away. Oh, holy shite, our offense is so awful. It is the fourth, and we haven't made a shot. The Blazers can't lose, baby, it's Chauncey coaching. They're up 26, baby, it's Chauncey coaching. Silent Aiton, no dominating. His play is calm, his future's not bright. Ping pong balls, Portland's only way, said the Blazer fans when the playoffs neared. Should we go and fear the deer? Frosty, our offense in the fourth, it was bad. With our ISO sets for our 2 old bets and no shots for Shaden made me mad. It's beginning to look a lot like last year. Every game I watch. Oh, little town of Tualatin, I can't believe they lied. They went with Scoot, who cannot shoot, and they told Dame bye-bye.
Oh my goodness, bro. This is genius.
We'll be home for playoffs. This will be year 3. Urkel the brown-nosed reindeer had a very stinky nose, and if you ever smelt it, you would know where it goes. That's right! For the first time ever, you can get a Rip City Retro Christmas just by sending money to Venmo or the Cash App.
Beautiful stuff. Go subscribe, Rip City Retro. I will toss the link in the live chat, and you guys can go subscribe. Get them to 700. That's beautiful, Rich. Well done.
I knew Silent Aiton would be your new favorite song.
I love Silent Aiton. No dominating. There you go. There you go. Go subscribe. That's the link to the video, but you can subscribe to the channel through there. Awesome stuff by Rich. Can we see you guys, though?
Taylor Packer, of course, hates Silent Aiton.
I should have just played it and had our face cams up, whatever. Good stuff, Rich. See, isn't that motivating, chat? Are you guys not motivated? Tankathon, but we won. We won, though. So we can't tankathon if we win. We can only tankathon when we lose. Chat, what was your favorite song? Mine is Silent Aiton.
Taylor's boycotting the album just for that song.
Dude, if I had like Taylor in my phone contacts, I'd set the ringtone for when he calls to that song. Do Tankathon, but only be excited if we move down. We don't do Tankathon on wins. We don't do it on wins.
We made that decision earlier this year.
Yes, chat. We let chat decide. So you can't be mad with yourselves. I mean, you can be mad with other people in chat, but not used to this winning thing. Yes, I'm used to doing Tankathon.
Tell the Blazers not to win next time if you don't like it.
Yeah, this is the oh, I guess I did Tankathon the Wizards stream.
We lost.
Yeah, you weren't there, and we got the #1 pick for the first time this year because you weren't there.
I don't know.
Anyway, we'll take questions from chat before we wrap up this stream. Taylor, you don't run things, bro. Taylor thinks he runs us, Eric. I put his name in one chat poll, and now he has like 15 mini-me's, and now he thinks he's big time. Where's Stephen Vaughn been? I wanted to do a recording with him last like Friday, but it was his kid's birthday, and then it was like I celebrated Christmas on Saturday, so I definitely want to bring him back on so I can give him so much crap for how good Anfernee Simons is.
Oh, he'll be like all the haters.
He said earlier this year, I actually like Ant this year. Like, okay, cool, good job, Steven, you've evolved. So I'm curious to see what he'll say, because I don't know if he'll hate. He might be like, you know what, he's been good this year. He's been legit. Like, Steven's the type where he doesn't have to stick to an opinion. Like, he will adjust his opinion. Okay, when you banned for 24 hours, but the next pod is in 48 hours, boomers. Here, I will permaban you then. Congrats on the permaban. If it lands on tails, Tori has to do a backflip. You want me to break my neck? What's up, Sude? Blazer fans have been so used to Lillard that they take Simons for granted because he's basically a lesser version of Dame. Absolutely. We've taken guard creation for granted. You know how many teams would love to have Ant right now that need a legitimate scoring guard like that? And if they don't, they're dumb. Can we get Jared Allen? We just got DeAndre Ayton, so what?
I mean, I'd like to trade Ayton for Jared Allen.
Yeah, I would do it straight up. Maybe the Cavs would be willing to do it straight up. They need more offense at their center spot, Eric.
I don't know if it works straight up, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, you throw in a filler salary. Like, you find a filler salary. Shetty Osman.
Yeah.
Wait, he's not there anymore, is he? He's in San Antonio. Who have they got? Their bench is just I don't even know. I know like Craig Porter Jr. has been going off. I don't want no Max Strus. Yeah, like Ricky Rubio. Just he might not play again. They can get off his contract. Like him plus I don't know. Another little filler salary. I mean, we'd have to dump out. No. They're like barely under the tax, so they'd want to get rid of other salary. I don't know. Like, it'd be tough to do it, because Jared Allen's making 20 mil and Ayton's making 32 mil.
Yeah.
32.4. Merry Christmas to Arrow. Thank you, bro. Can we get Kai Jones? We could. Will we? Probably not. I mean, why would you want... I wouldn't bring in Kai Jones because you got Duop Reath looking good. Don't really see the need for him, you know?
Yeah, we don't have an open roster spot either since we signed Skylar Mays earlier this year. Also, Duop is on a two-way, so at some point he won't be able to play anymore. Rich, you just had to go and ruin all your goodwill you've built up so far this stream. Jeez, man.
Unsubscribe.
People can't help themselves, dude.
Rich is a troll, man. Rich is the trolliest person we've ever had on stream. Rich is a scary guy to have on stream. I know he'll be entertaining. I know he'll come through in that department, but I'd never know what to expect from him.
It doesn't make any sense, Cuddy Soup, because Kai Jones was not in this draft, so...
What? I don't know. Dead air.
I guess no one has any questions.
Nobody. That's fine. We're not important.
Rich really wanted to do better life advice questions. People didn't come through.
It's like the 200 people that are watching and don't comment in chat. Shout out to them. Their lives must be great, which is awesome. I love to see it.
What's your New Year's resolution, Tori?
Ban people quicker.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. Like there's multiple. I don't know. Get the basic ones, like get in better shape. Taylor says, I once asked Eric for life advice on making marriage work, and he told me he didn't know LMAO. I thought he answered that.
Your question must have been stupid.
You need advice on how not to be in love with DeAndre Ayton. If Bol Bol was a dog, would he be Wemby? No, he's not as big as Wemby. He's not as tall as Wemby. He's also not as skilled as Wemby. Or doesn't have basketball instincts like Wemby. The Bol Bol Wemby comparisons always have driven me crazy. How long should I time out Zach for? The rest of the stream?
Sure.
Okay. Does Zach know that we can choose how long to time somebody out for now?
I don't know.
Well, he'll know now because I timed him out for 30 minutes. Before, the default was just 5. Now it's 30. Anyway.
Alex Wolf says, what should my next tattoo be? Tori's face. Or the Blazers Uprise logo.
Yeah. Brand yourself with our logo. Be our free walking billboard. I'll send you the PNG. I'll send it to your tattoo artist. How amusing is the KD stuff? Rich wants to know. There's
much to it yet. Yeah.
I need to see it play out even more because I feel like they could just like wake up tomorrow and win games. Mm-hmm. I think they need to lose a little bit more to like truly buy into something's completely broken. I'll pay for the tattoo, okay? That's how I'll pay for the advertising. The Suns just... So I went on Gabe's stream and just argued with Romp for like an hour and a half last night, Eric.
Yeah.
And I think I destroyed him. Gabe's chat 2/3 sided with me because he did a chat poll. He was arguing on some like Skip Bayless shit and I wasn't having it. So, yeah, but he was basically saying like, they don't need a point guard. Like, what do you mean they don't need a point guard? They clearly need a point guard. You need Booker to step up and be better. It's like he's averaging 28 and 8. What more do you want him to do? And then he was saying something like, KD's points just don't hit the same way as they did 2 years ago. He's like, he's averaging 31 a game on like the highest 3-point percentage in the league. What do you mean they don't? They're not the same. Like, you're just basing stuff off.
They count less than they did before.
See, but then I say that, like, bro, it's 31 points. And he's doing it officially. He's like, yeah, but like, I'm just basing it off the eye test, not stats. It's like, what are we talking about, man? What are we doing here? So his points don't look as sexy to you as they did 2 years ago. That's what it's about. Style points, I guess. I mean, it just made no sense. Just made no sense. And then we argued about Ayton, and yeah, it was something last night. It was something. Taylor's a Nurk hater. You hate to see it. They won. Ayton didn't play, but you still go off on him. I didn't. When did I go off on Ayton, bro? I literally said, like, I'm not going to speak bad on Ayton. I barely said anything on him this game. This dude is watching the stream like an hour and a half behind and won't hear this until he listens to this part. Or probably won't even last that long, but it's funny because I'll literally say on streams, like, I'm not trying to be hard on Ayton. I'll ask you guys the question, is Reath better? Just to ask you guys the question, right? But I specifically said, like, I'm not going to roast Ayton for this game. Like, him being out is not the reason they won. That's basically all I said. I don't really know what else I'm supposed to say to not go off on him.
I said on the stream a week ago on Gabe's stream that the Suns should trade for Javon Carter and Andre Drummond from the Bulls, and then Andre Drummond goes out and has like 25 and 25 tonight, and now he's probably out of their price range. But
yeah, he's had a couple good games lately. So, better backup center, point guard. They need an on-ball defender that can hit threes because they don't have an on-ball defender that can like consistently hit threes. So, while they help on defense, they just hurt on offense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just we knew that team had to have their big three. I mean, they haven't had them yet this season, but like one game, right? So, like, I don't know how you can say it's like a failure when unless the big three never play together, right? Then it's obviously a failure. But like, it was built on needing the big three, and their depth supplemented that. Without their big three, they're a very bad team. I don't know.
Yeah. What was I gonna do? I was gonna check something. I forget. I remember. We got Zach on his burner. Sick. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. So, okay. I get, yeah.
Yeah, I realize Beal has been injured a lot, but, like, I don't know. If they all get healthy and make the playoffs, I don't know if it's still, like, completely out of the realm possibility they go on a run.
Taylor says, Taylor was hating on Nurk. I mean, it wasn't hate because it was true. Like, you asked how big of a deal Nurk having Dame was for his game. It was a lot. My man playing next to 2 stars and can't even hit layups at 50%. He played games without Dame and wasn't as bad as he's been this year. Like, Nurk has struggled, and it was mostly start of the season with a new team. Like, Nurk struggled. He has not been efficient this year. His true shooting percentage, 54%. I mean, but the thing is you won't give Ayton the same energy. His true shooting percentage, 56.7. Like, Ayton isn't that much more efficient than Nurk. They're both below average in terms of efficiency for centers. And that's with Nurk, his efficiency looking awful. But it's like people just look at field goal percentage. Right? Like, you forget, like, Nurk shoots threes, so his field goal percentage is going to be lower. I think... Let me look. Nurkic's percentage from 2 is 52.8. So basically 53. Ayton's is 54.8. So basically 2 percentage points higher. But the thing is, Nurk gets to the line more. So Nurk gets to the line like almost 3 times as much. So shout out to Alex Wolf. $2 donation says, thank you, Pistons. Samardo Samuels, this is for you. Who is Samardo Samuels?
He's a player from Alex Wolf's Cavs that lost 26 in a row that now are no longer the record holder. So he's thanking the Pistons for his Cavs not being the most abysmal team in terms of longest losing streak ever.
Nurk has had such a better team around him this year. It's not even close. I mean, the Blazers just beat the Suns, and the Suns are 14 and 15. Like, the Suns aren't good. Yeah, it's bad when I don't even recognize a name, because I'll recognize most names. See, it's like the people that don't want me to trash Ayton, they'll bring him up in a way where it gets me talking about him. It's like, if you don't want to hear me talk about him, why bring him up? You know? Did y'all see where Mike Richmond said he thinks it would take a first and a young player for the Blazers front office to move off Thibault? Thoughts on that asking price if true? I mean, it seems like the Blazers, I mean, I don't. They're going to talk up his value. So they're going to say they want legitimate assets. I'm not saying the Blazers and Suns are similar quality, but like the Suns aren't good either. The Suns are noticeably worse without Nurk on the court. So do you want to wrap up the stream, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, chat, for joining us. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring the stream. Use the link in the description box below for a 125% deposit match. It will give you free money to bet with. So if you want to bet on NBA action, NFL action, any of that good stuff, check out the link. Also, we'll be live next on Thursday with Blazers Uprise live at 3:30 p.m. Pacific on our second channel, Blazers Uprise Podcast. Link in the description box below. And shout out to Rip City Retro. Go subscribe to Rich at Rip City Retro. Of course, we'll have the
back-to-back games Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, post games Thursday, Friday. Back-to-back games against the Spurs. So tune in for that. And anything else?
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Hope you all had a good Christmas. And, yeah, hope to see you guys on Thursday.
Yep, looking forward to it. Anyway, appreciate all you guys tuning in tonight. Hopefully you have a good rest of your night. And until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.